Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be doing something a little off the wall. Alright, I wanted to do kind of a theme-based loadout around like a particular like type of playstyle or a particular like person that, you know, gave me an idea for this. So if this gets enough likes and shares, I will do more of these, alright? Because honestly, I had a lot of fun making this because this is actually really cool. Now, I'm going to say, if you guys want me to do this, send me some details or send me a Twitch streamer to check out, and I'll definitely give it a look. Now, this one in particular, this is going to be like the test of this. This is actually a streamer I follow on Twitch. She's actually really cool, really, really nice person, big heart, and her name is Khaleesima. Her name will be on screen right there. And honestly, I was watching and I was noticing that she was a big Game of Thrones fan. She likes dragons, so I got to thinking, I could work with that. I could become the dragon with this particular setup. Now, this works great with Solar 3.0 and a well build that gives you charge of light, because this thing will ramp its damage up to 11. Alright, this thing is absolutely bonkers. Now, I am going to have a very special title for this. It's kind of cheesy, but I thought it was kind of fitting because of how it works. So, we're going to call this one in particular the Dragon Loadout. Alright? Basically flying through the air, raining down carnage, causing mass chaos and destruction. Now, I'm going to outline some things real quick. If I get inspired by a streamer or just something that kind of gave me an idea or an insight to something, I will make a loadout based on that and definitely give it a try. Or if you guys have one that you want to submit, down in the comments. Alright? Put it down in the comments and I'll give it a try. If I have the weapons, that is. Just saying. But I have a particular set of weapons I think really fit this, because when I was going through it, I was like, okay, dragons, they breathe fire. So we need to incorporate that. Now, I am going to say I did not include my full armor set because, you know, all the boring details that went into that. But I did run Solar 3.0, and I did have the crazy Titan melee with the twin hammers. I forget what it's called right now. I'll figure it out later. I'll make a note of it in post, alright? So anyway, the primary is the Firefight with extended barrel, polygonal rifling, armor-piercing rounds, light mag, well-rounded, osmosis for a fun little party trick with this gun, turns into an elemental weapon, extrovert origin trait, and the handling masterwork there. Now guys, as you're seeing here, I really like this. The sight's not too clunky. The gun's actually surprisingly stable. Now 450 RPM, pretty accurate too, with it also being a precision frame auto. So I felt this would be a good fit for, you know, medium range combat. So unless they really want to get in close, and, you know, then you really let loose the fire, which is going to be brought to you by this next weapon, the Without Remorse corkscrew rifling, full choke, tac mag, light mag, stats for all, incandescent, keep that perk in mind, and a ranged masterwork. Alright, as you've seen in my other video, this shotgun breathes fire. Yes, this thing breathes fire. Alright, because what happens when you proc the incandescent, it'll actually spread scorch damage around to other enemies, and if you get enough stacks to scorch on an enemy, they light on fire. Reload is not bad, which allows you to get back in the fight pretty quick and start laying down the law on them if you have to, and definitely start dealing out the punishment, because this thing slaps pretty hard. Not even gonna lie. Now, the real crowning jewel of this is going to be this next weapon. Alright? The 1000 Voices, the Last Wish Raid Exotic, extended barrel, liquid coils, unforeseen repercussions, keep that in mind right there, fitted stock, and the intrinsic trait Amkar's Eye. Basically, laser beam, puts a little bunch of dots everywhere, and all those dots explode. Which, by the way, that right there, combined with that, this thing does some pretty insane damage. Alright? Now, if you haven't seen this before, this is what it looks like firing. That howl is frightening. Or, for like a more concentrated area, great for that. You can just draw a line. It's like Bob Ross of death. Alright? This is what Bob Ross would use if he got mad. Just saying. It's great up close as well for like if you're going to really cause a lot of damage in a really short amount of time. Also, be careful with this thing because you will blow yourself up if you are not careful. Alright, and the exotic I use for this to really get the flying effect is the Lion Rampants because, you know, F you, I can fly half across football field. Now, as you've seen here, I took this into the Nightmare Containment activity, and this loadout actually pairs pretty well because it's really good for crowd control and just breathing fire across your enemies and across the battlefield. And just basically, you are literally a two-legged dragon at this point. Now, I did say the one little thing that I didn't like about the 1K is the charge time, but it makes up for it with the just sheer firepower this thing puts out. Now, as dealing with something like an Overload Champion, get the stun off and you'll delete them. What I mean by get stun off with champions, if you're not familiar, you got to get the stun with a special mod that goes on your weapon. Well, it goes on your armor that affects your weapon. And you'll stun them, and their health is actually reduced a little bit to where you can actually basically delete them, like that guy right there, and go in for the kill. Now, with this also, this shotgun will actually produce solar wells, so that's going to really help with the damage output as well. But also with the Lion Rampants, you can actually traverse and cover a lot more terrain a lot quicker than most other people could. But one thing though I did say is the firefight here actually paired out really, really well. Because there was times I felt like I was going to miss some shots, so I swapped over to the firefight and just laid down the law in a matter of seconds. Alright, now, as you're seeing here, also, another little surprise. If the 1K doesn't do enough damage, that hammer sure as hell will. This whole loadout basically is centered around causing as much chaos and just confusion as you can on your enemies in a matter of seconds, to the point where they're just like, where is he coming from, which way is he going, I don't know, we should run for the hills. That was a theme I went for with this, because you're basically, you see a fucking dragon flying through the air, you're not gonna be like, oh look, a dragon, you're gonna be like, oh shit, run. Which that's basically the theme I went for with this. Also, defensive wise, the towering barricade there, lock off a particular area and just start laying them down. Alright, on top of that, with the healing grenade, you can heal yourself or teammates if they need it. So it works good in a sense for both offensive and like major defensive capabilities. It's really better just unleashing hell in a matter of seconds, which is a lot of fun. But as you're seeing though, I am actually 10 power levels under for this particular activity. So the damage output wasn't quite what I wanted, but on weeks where it's like Solar Singe week, this thing is going to be a monster. Now, if you really wanted to add a little bit of flair to it, you could go with something like a Jotun for a secondary and like a Palmyra B for a fire and ice combo. But with this, I just went straight fire, like that melee there, just saying. Also, works really good with the scythe there, because actually, that scythe produces solar wells. Fun fact for you guys. A lot of people realize that. So I figured, okay, it's good up against, you know, rank and file ads and like smaller bosses. So I wanted to test it out up against a little bit larger boss. A little bit larger boss and some tougher enemies. So I was like, okay, we got to the final part of this nightmare containment. So I went to test out up against the boss. So in a sense, basically smack the crap out of her with it. Only thing though with the 1K is the charge time and the Lion Rampants. I would personally recommend using like burst lift or catapult lift. I mean, sorry, catapult, not a warlock. Yeah, use catapult lift or Lion Rampants to kind of fly a little bit more, but to hold yourself up in the air, to where you can really just start pointing the 1K around and just laying the beam down where you need to, because the beam is about 60% of the damage. Alright, now Where the real rest of it comes in is when you lay down those explosions on her, and this thing really just goes to town. I'd say for ad clear, I wouldn't recommend anything else but this. This thing is just stupid fun. And fun fact, for those of you who aren't lore aficionados, the 1K or 1000 voices is actually made from Bones. There you go. Something to give you a little bit of uneasy nightmares, but other than that, fun gun. Now, as you see in there, this thing actually dishes out some pretty decent damage. Quick heal there. I decided real quick not to do that, but just draw a line and, paint with explosions. But with this, though, it's honestly, it's a bit situational. Alright? And with the hammer there, like you're seeing, producing the solar wells and just going the hell off with this thing is actually just ridiculous amounts of fun. So you're spreading the fire everywhere, causing the carnage. I think this lives up to the dragon name. Because, like I said before, the Lion Rapids, you got your flight there. 1K, you got your just mass amounts of fire there. And with the no remorse, or without remorse, sorry, I keep doing that. You can get in close and just start burning enemies down. So overall, I think it actually turned out pretty good. If you guys want to try it, the loadout's there. Anyway, guys, I really, really hope you enjoyed this because this was actually such a blast to make. No pun intended. Maybe. But if you have any others you want me to do, or anybody that you want me to do a loadout based on or kind of themed around, let me know in the comments because this was actually really fun. It actually made me think. I love doing stuff like this, guys. This is something that not a lot of people realize. I love stuff that makes me think like, okay, what would be good for this particular setup or this particular type of thing, or what would like this particular character use. So anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this. Y'all take care. Y'all stay safe out there. God bless you guys. And Khaleesima, I really hope you enjoyed this if you see this. And as always, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will see you in the next video. Y'all have a good one.
Like and click those 2 links. And subscribe.